to the world. Subscribe now to the Hot 97 YouTube channel. It's Ebro in the Morning with Laura Stiles and Rosenberg.
Yo, it's Ebro, Lauren Rosenberg, and today's guest, Fernando Mateo. You know him from Zona de Cuba in the Bronx. Or maybe you know him from La Marina days. Or maybe you know him for representing the bodegas. Or maybe you know him for representing the taxi cab drivers. Fernando, what's going on, man?
Ebro, man, everything's good. How are you?
We blessed today, man. We blessed.
Great, man. You got a nice team there. I love it. I love being on your show.
Well, let's dig right into it. You decided you wanted to run for mayor. Why, man? Why?
Because I have to, not because I want to, because I need to fix New York City, because I have the experience to do it, because I want kids that are 14, 15, 16, 17 to get a job after school the way I did. I dropped out of school when I was 14, and I was adopted by a Jewish family who taught me how to succeed, who taught me the ropes of business, who helped me, become a fine young man. And I want to do that for every kid that's going to school and after school have nothing to do. Their parents are working and they're out there doing nothing. I want to bring them together with every small business in New York, make sure that businesses get tax breaks so that they can hire these kids and teach them and give them an umbrella so that, they're not out there doing the wrong thing and wind up in trouble.
So specifically to kids finding jobs, I think there's 150,000 high school kids every summer that go for the 75,000 jobs that the city provides for kids. So it's about half. So there's 75,000 kids that don't make the cut, I'm told. I think those are the numbers.
That's not. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, those aren't the numbers. They're higher?
No. What I'm saying is that it's not enough jobs, and it's summertime is not the. It's just a piece of the puzzle.
Got it.
Their issue isn't in the summer. Their problem is all year round. We had 220,000 small businesses in New York. If these businesses are given incentives to bring these kids into their shops, whether they're electricians, plumbers, carpenters, restaurants, bars, you name it, these kids can do something. Baby shop stores, which is where I worked. So it's about giving small businesses opportunities in the communities where these kids live, so that when they come out of school, they got to report to work. They work 4 hours a day, and they go home when their parents get home to do their homework and do what they have to do. They have a mentorship. See, I know how to do that because it was done with me. I know what it takes to get our kids back on track and get them where they need to be. We can reduce crime and do a lot of good if we take care of our young kids, man. That's where it all lies, Ebro.
And this is your sole reason for running for mayor. You're also running as a Republican.
No, it's not my sole reason. I have many reasons why.
Okay.
I want to make sure that what happened to me as a small businessman in New York City and what has happened to 80,000 other businesses that have shut down, mainly restaurants, don't happen to other businesses that come into New York to make an investment. If you come to New York to invest and take a risk, borrow money to start a small business, the city should be your biggest insurance policy. It shouldn't be your biggest threat. It shouldn't be, they shouldn't be the ones putting you out of business. They should be helping you stay in business and employing people from your community. I'm running for mayor because public safety is non-existent. I know how to get public safety back. I did Toys for Guns in '93, and I got thousands of guns off of the streets. I went to as far as LA, where I got the Crips and the Bloods together for the first time with the NAACP and got them to surrender guns. I mean, listen, I know how to bring public safety back. I know how to hold cops accountable because I know how abusive they can be. I know how bad they could use their power to intimidate, to put you out of business. I know that. So I know how to reform the police department, and it's not being done right now. Right now, it's still not being done right. And we need to get all of that under control. If your city isn't safe, you're not going to bring businesses to the city. Public safety, number one. Economy, number two. Small businesses, number three. Schools, homelessness is out of control. I mean, all of these things is basically what's telling me that I'm the guy for this job. I'm the only guy that has the experience. Everyone else they're politicians. They're going to speak politics to you. I don't like politics, and I'm not a politician.
So what about those of us who have never voted for a Republican, generally wouldn't consider voting for a Republican, and particularly right now are disgusted by what the Republican Party seems to stand or not stand for?
Well, Rosenberg, I think it's unfair to label every Republican under the same label. I'm an urban Republican. I'm not a typical right-wing Republican that most people are going to look at it and say, oh, my God, he's a Republican. No, the work that I have done, going back to 89 when I taught, trained, and found employment for first-time nonviolent offenders, who do you think I was serving? I was serving the Democratic community. When I did Toys for Guns, who was I serving? I was serving the Democratic community. When I helped the taxi drivers and stopped the murders and the killings, who was I serving? With the bodega owners, who am I serving? Don't look at me as your typical, right-wing Republican, because I am not. I'm urban, man. I come from where you come from. I come from the projects. I come from the city that I love. And I don't think that people are going to vote for me because I'm a Republican or Democrat. That's a label. That's a divisive brand. And I don't want to be branded. I want to be seen as who I am. I'm Fernando Mateo. I love the city of New York. I love my black and brown people. I love everybody in this city, and I will do the best job that I can do. And believe me, Ebro, you know that I live good. I've got some good businesses. I've got a great family. My youngest daughter's a doctor. My other daughter's a writer. My son works for sanitation, but he's also an actor. I've lived in every borough of this city. I'm a hardworking guy, man. I don't play. I take care of my employees. My employees love me, and they follow me everywhere I go because I'm a fair dude, man. I do the right thing by my people. I always have. I always will. And believe me, this is not a job that I want. It's a job that I need to do. And I need to do it because I want to make sure that what's happened to me over my 61 years living in New York City doesn't happen to others. I will change every city agency. I will reform every city agency. I will fix the jail system because I spent 3 years in the jail system teaching, training, and employing kids a skill. I know how to do it better than any of these guys that all they have is policy, policy, policy. I've done it, so I know how to do it. Listen, none of the people running for office have ever gotten up at 4 a.m. like you guys and like me to work for a living. None of them have ever owned their own business. They don't know what it is to pay rent. They don't know what it is to meet payroll. They only know how to fine you, how to put you out of business, and I will stop that. Whoever comes to New York will thrive, and I will make New York City a gold rush. Every small business, I will reach out to every country, to every city, and I will invite them to come to New York because we will turn the page of 7 bad years that we've had. And it's, we need to change it, guys. Give me the opportunity. Don't brand me. Don't label me because I'm not that kind of guy. I'm a good guy. I do the right thing.
But why wouldn't you run as an independent then if you don't want to be labeled?
Because all my independent also have their issues. Everyone has an issue. In order for you to win in New York City, you have to run under 2 party lines, Democrat or Republican. And we've seen that. You had 20 years of Republican mayors. You had 12 years of a Republican governor, which I thought was one of the best governors we've ever had, George Pataki. We have had very good leadership. Look at Ronald Reagan, for crying out loud. He gave amnesty to every immigrant in the country. He saved so many lives.
Yeah, but Ronald Reagan was trash for black communities, though.
Well, you know what?
He might have helped Cubans. But he didn't help black people.
Yeah, not everyone is going to be right for everyone. We're all human beings.
And some people have really liked de Blasio. Some people have liked de Blasio. You didn't like de Blasio.
No,
but you also voted for Donald Trump twice.
Yes, I did. You know what? I knew that Donald Trump had issues, and I knew he had bad issues and he had good issues. The good issues were the economy. He kept us out of a war. He basically helped the brown and black people probably more than any other president that I know of. But you know what? He was arrogant. He didn't have humility. He was not a president for all the people. But you know what? That's that. New York City is my life, man. This is
how did he help brown and black people more than other presidents?
Well, he created more jobs. And I'll tell you one thing. I'm going to go back to the 70s and the 80s and the 90s when I was a kid. And I had my car.
Let's not go back that far. Let's focus on Donald Trump. First of all, Donald Trump created jobs, but they didn't raise the federal minimum wage. He didn't want to do that. He also didn't help guns on the streets either, and he didn't close the loopholes. So he really didn't help a lot.
Well, listen, when you talk about...
And if I can't get a good paying job, then what are these jobs you're speaking of?
Yeah, but Obama didn't do it either, Ebro. I mean,
But no one's arguing Obama did.
Nobody's talking about Obama. We're talking about Trump.
But I'm talking about Trump. You're talking about Trump.
And by the way, Obama would have done it if he had the Senate and the House like Trump did.
Okay. Well, listen, Trump is Trump. Fernando Mateo is Fernando Mateo. Guys, I'm a New Yorker like you are. I want to really do the right job for my city. And I want you guys to know that if I have this opportunity, you're going to say, you know what? Mateo really came through.
So let me ask you,
thing for us.
As a business owner,
yes,
and I don't know if there's a precedent for it, but as a business owner, how do you become mayor and also own business? I don't know if that's ever happened before. I don't know if you have to relinquish business. I don't know what the... Because how does one vote for a business owner and not think they're going to be doing self-serving things? The same way we just had a president who was also a business owner, employed his family, and they did self-serving things.
Well, the situation is that I'm a businessman because that's how I make a living. I don't. While my employees are unemployed, I'm also unemployed. When my business shuts down, I don't make any money. When I'm mayor of New York City, my businesses will be ran by my wife, which they're ran by now because she owns the businesses that I work in. So they'll be ran by her. I'll do what Bloomberg did. You put your business aside and you run forward and you run the city.
Right, because Bloomberg still had his name on. He had his name on a lot of things while he was mayor for 12 years.
The name of the brand, his brand is Bloomberg. He can't kill his brand.
That's right.
To be mayor. But you know what? I will not listen. Will I go to Zona de Cuba? Absolutely. Will I dance at Zona de Cuba? Absolutely. Will I eat there? Yes, I will. And I'll do that in every small business around New York. I don't even want a cop to drive me around. I want to drive myself around. I want to take myself wherever I want to go, and I want to be a real New Yorker as mayor. Because I'm mayor doesn't mean I can't live. Doesn't mean I can't do the things that I do today. I'm going to hang out with you guys. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. As long as I've got the city well managed, well positioned, and doing the right thing, I think that's all that anyone could expect.
I don't know when you're mayor, I don't know if I'll be able to hang out with you, man. I don't hang out with public officials while they're on the job, man.
You're my friend. You're my friend now.
Man.
You're my friend then.
It'll be a wrap. The arguments we got in at Zona de Cuba about policy or politics, I had no idea you'd be running for mayor. But now you're running for mayor, so now you want to run for mayor, so you gotta go on the chopping block like everybody else.
Listen, Ebro, I can take it. But I'll tell you one thing, man. I am your friend today. I will be your friend tomorrow. I'm not doing this to create to divide who I am.
Of course not. No. Now, but let me ask you seriously. Yeah. Do you really want to be mayor? Or do you just not like what's going on? Because there's a difference.
Ebro, listen. That's a tough question. And it's tough because of my family, because of my kids, because of my grandson, and I have another grandson coming or a granddaughter coming. It's a job that people don't ever thank you for. It's a thankless job. But you know what? This is my city, man. This is all I know. This is all I have. I am who I am because of New York. And I believe that I have the opportunity to give my city a little bit of what they've given me. And I will do the best job at it. I will do everything that it takes to make it happen. 2 months ago, I never thought that I would do this. I don't like politics. I'm not a politician. And you know what? I'm doing it because we have to. If I look at the pool of people running for mayor, most of them have been getting taxpayer dollars their entire life, except for maybe one or two of them. Okay? And they don't really know the city. They're unplugged. So if we allow these politicians to continue governing, we just have an extension of what we currently have. They don't understand what business is. They don't understand what a 14-year-old or 15-year-old or 16-year-old hanging out in the street after school is all about. I know, because you know what? When I was 14, I dropped out of school because of all the drugs, the heroin, the cocaine, the ups, the downs, you name it that was going on in school. I dropped out. I don't want these kids to drop out of school, but I also want them to have a real opportunity. They're our future. And if I can engage the small businesses to work with them, if I can engage large corporations to engage with our youth, if I can engage with the philanthropists and the foundations to adopt city housing projects, and get all the lead out of those buildings and fix the sinks. I lived in a city housing project that the bathtub would leak into the kitchen for years and no one would repair them. I know how to get it done because I'm that kind of guy. I'm simple. I'm blue collar. I'm easy, man. I can make this city work, but I need money. So you know what? I can't leave this program without telling people to go to the MateoTheMayor.com and make a contribution. I need money in order to win.
Why? Because you have to raise enough money. Like I think Andrew Yang just crossed the threshold. You have to raise enough money to meet a certain threshold to say that you could be mayor, right? Without the donations, you can't even actually run. Correct?
That is correct. I'm almost there. I'm not far, but I'm still far. So I need 1,000 donations for $250. That puts you at $250,000, and then you can get matching funds. I believe that I will beat Andrew Young's record. I will reach the goal before he did.
It's Yang.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Andrew Yang. What did I say?
You said Young.
Oh, yeah.
It's Young. Cool. Listen, man, people mess up names all the time. Mess up names all the time. So I'm sure we're going to have you on again, like other mayor candidates who are running. But it's tough for me to, and I've told you this both privately and I'm going to say it public now. People that looked past Donald Trump's antics for their own bank account and people that looked past his racism and alignment with white supremacy for their own bank account or his economic policy. It's hard. That's a hard thing for me. Because I'm not a person who believes that Democrats want people to not make money. I just know that Democrats want to take more money and give it to social services, which gets tied up in bureaucracy, and it's a terrible system. I don't love it, but at least I know they're trying to help out the little guy the best way they can with the system that we have available. So I don't always like them either. I'm a registered independent, but that's a tough thing for me to look past when it comes to
it's not tough, bro. It's impossible.
When it comes to people aligning with the Republican Party.
Well, Rosenberg, I'll tell you all that this city voted record high numbers for Republicans this time around. I will continue that moving forward, and I will probably be the only candidate that will move 400,000 to 500,000 Democrats to my side. Why? Because they're not looking at me the way you are. They're looking at me as Fernando Mateo and what have I done lately for the city. What I've done for New York City, I did it without looking for a thank you. I didn't want anyone to thank me. In fact, I did most of it quietly. When you look at every candidate that's there and you put them side by side with me and we go into the ring, the odds of me winning is much greater than theirs because I have done 10, 20, 50 times more than what they will ever do for our kids, for our community, for our youth. And although I'm an urban Republican, I don't want for people to ever think that there's arrogance, because there's not. I am humble. I am not arrogant, and I know how to communicate, and I know how to get things done. Everyone said George Pataki could never win. He won for 12 years. He was our governor, a damn good governor. Everyone said that Giuliani couldn't win, and he did win, and he became America's mayor until he messed it all up recently. You know, Bloomberg was mayor, Republican mayor for 12 years, you know? So everyone says Republicans can't do it. You know what? I will take on the challenge, because everyone said to me, you will never build La Marina. You will never build Zona de Cuba on top of a federal building. I'm the only business in a federal building in the entire country. People say, Fernando, you can't do this. And to me, it presents a challenge. It's like, I'm going to do it because no one else can do it. I will be mayor because people think that a Republican can't win. Guys, I'm going to be the best Republican dude at City Hall that you will ever meet.
I don't think it's that people think Republicans can't do it. I think people know the history. I think whether it's Giuliani or Bloomberg, I think people have seen the fallout after they've been mayor. And if we remember history, Giuliani was also the same person yelling the N-word out in front of the building, yelling it at Dinkins. So I think, you know, while I'm here on this microphone, I'm going to make sure that people don't forget that they sat by and let these white supremacists, for the sake of money and their own bank account, continue to create an atmosphere where the needs of black and brown people socially aren't being met. Everyone loves to wave around a big bank account and some jobs, and that usually gets it done. Look, there's a lot of people who voted for Trump just for that, and you saw the fallout of it. You saw the fallout of Giuliani, and we've seen the fallout of Bloomberg. This homeless problem, this is a problem we're seeing right now. That goes back to Bloomberg's real estate policies. And so it's going to be interesting. And I appreciate the dialogue, and we'll be paying close attention.
Listen, it's a no from me, dog. I'm sure you're a great guy, and you seem that way. But if we live in a time, unfortunately, where if you can't disavow the Trump lies, particularly around the helping black and brown people, which to me is a farce, even if you may be great for the city, I can only speak for me. I would never be able to stand next to it, and a lot of people are going to feel the same way, I think.
Well, yeah, as a tax-paying Latina in New York City, I feel the way. I can't get past it. I can't get past the support of an administration that upholds in front of our eyes white supremacy. I just cannot. I cannot. That is a deal breaker for me.
I can't either, but that's not who I am.
But you voted for this person twice.
I am brown, guys.
I know, but you voted for this person twice.
I feel the pain of my community, and that's why I've done what I've done. You know, I am the community, but the label that you are identifying is not.
Well, I think what they're saying, Fernando, is it's deeper than the Republican label. They're saying you voted for Donald Trump twice, and you're okay with that.
Well, you want to know something? When I look at numbers and I see how many black and brown people Trump pardoned, and I see.
But that's why he did it. That's eyewash bullshit. That's not real.
Listen, Rosenberg, as a Hispanic immigrant in this country, I'm Dominican, all right? When I saw what happened with 400,000 deportations a year under Obama and 100,000 deportations a year under Trump, that's a big difference, my friend. You know,
why are we relitigating Obama again? It always comes back to relitigating Obama. Listen, no one's saying anything about Obama.
Listen, every administration has its pros and has its cons. We're talking about me running for mayor. I want to be mayor of this city because I want the city to be the best city it's ever been. And I will make it the best city that it's ever been. And people have to look beyond. You may not look beyond, but people have to look beyond a party line. I mean, listen, I am living and have lived in the midst, in the surroundings of a democratic city my entire life. Does that make me a bad person? I'm not racist because my father's black, my mother's Spanish, and I love everybody.
No, but Fernando, but when you choose to run as an urban Republican instead of an independent, but there's a reason behind it. There's an association you do want.
Listen, I'm a businessman. I enjoy building businesses. I enjoy creating jobs. I enjoy creating opportunities. I took a cab driver, for crying out loud, that had an old car, and I made him a millionaire, a cab driver. Me, because I put him in business. I took 2 Honduran bodega-owned clerks, and they're multimillionaires today. Why? Because I helped them open their own businesses, and I guided them to success. Okay? I took a carpet guy and made him one of the largest carpet companies in the country because I taught him how to do it. I took kids out of jail, okay? And when they were 16, 17, 18, their home was called Rikers Island, all right? And today they're authors. They have families. They've got children. You know, I took bodegas after Junior's death, okay? And I created Safe Haven Bodegas. And I made bodega owners spend money to protect their community and to protect themselves. Listen, I am not going to speak about other people that you may not agree with. I just want you to hear me out. I want you to know who Fernando Mateo is.
But that's why we're giving you the platform today. That's why we're giving you the platform today. We don't have Republicans on here most of the time because they don't want to come. But the reason we're giving you the platform is because we know the work you've done, and we see you out here. But we're asking you these tough questions because it's going to come to pass.
I understand.
Because being the mayor ain't representing the cabs, and it ain't representing the bodegas, and it ain't running La Marina, and it ain't Zona de Cuba. It's not those things. Being the mayor is another thing.
It is.
And that other thing comes with either cutting off the head of white supremacy that is rampant in our loans, in our schools, in our police department, and in our social services that keeps black and brown people in the conditions that they are in right now, or in some politicians' cases, hobnobbing with the institutions that create this atmosphere, which is why we're stuck in this place continuously in the largest city in the country that has the most segregated school system in the country also, because people have not been able to fix it.
Ebro, I will cut the heads of every top agency because I agree with you 100%. You don't start from the bottom up. You can't reform or fix the police department by reforming the recruits coming out of school when the people up on top are the ones that are spreading the hate coming down. It was those cops up on top that took my Marina away. It wasn't the cop from the beat that was at the 3-4 precinct. I know whose head's got to be chopped off. You got to chop off the snake's head in order to make our city better. And I will look at every agency and make sure that my people, my community, and every New Yorker has a good place to live. There are 2.5 million Hispanics, immigrants in New York City. There are so many of these immigrants that have borrowed and spent their life savings trying to build a business. And here comes the top at every agency and cuts them off, leaving them and putting them out of business. I will not allow that. And I agree with you. We need a lot of fixing to do, but you don't need to have a label on your head to fix these things. I will fix them as an urban Republican, and I will do what's right for our city. I'm not going to do what, the definition of an institutional Republican is. I will be the face of the Republican Party nationwide if I am the mayor. And there's going to be a huge turn of the page. Why? Because there's only love here. There's only humility here. I am humble, and I'm a hard-ass worker. I bust my ass every day to survive. And you know what? And when I sit in my business, I'm shaking in my boots thinking that an inspector is going to come in from any city agency to look to shut me down. I am traumatized. Like 80,000 small businesses have been traumatized that have gone out of business in New York City. That is wrong. And that's what I will fix. And you know what? Republican or not, you guys are my friends, and you will always be my friends. I don't care if you don't like my label. Screw that. You know, I don't care. I will come on your show.
Fernando, thank you, man.
Appreciate
you so much,
man.
Thank you, Fernando.
Thanks for the dialogue, bro.
Thank you.
I
And
love
we'll be talking again soon.
Thank you.
All right, Fernando, take care.
Take care.
I don't know.
All right,
vote
love.
for me. Vote for me, MateoTheMayor.com. Make a contribution, MateoTheMayor.com.
Peace.
Later, bro.
Take care, man.